Hi, Stitchers! Welcome to the Pattern Queens Flosstube number 34. Today is Sunday, June 14th. It's Flag Day.
Ooh.
I'm Laura.
I'm Keisha.
And this is a channel about cross stitch.
And friendship and rambles and lots of shenanigans.
Maybe a little bit of silliness.
Just a touch, but we're never too silly.
So, I've had a pretty good week. I've been model stitching. How about you?
Right. Same here, lots of model stitching, but something exciting that happened at work, they threw me a surprise baby shower.
Yay!
That was really cool. Got lots of fun things. My favorite being a little baby tub that looks like a whale. But we had cake and punch and it was great.
Awesome. That's so fun. And I know you weren't expecting to have any kind of shower, so that was nice, right?
Right. Yeah, it was really great. I work with some great people.
That's fun. That's fun. So we want to welcome you to our video. And Keisha, you were telling me about one comment. I can't remember what you said.
Oh. So last week you showed a piece that you got that had a house on it. And you said, now don't laugh at me. And Shiloh, who is my wonderful sister-in-law, hello Shiloh, hello nieces if you're watching, she commented, Laura says, don't laugh at me. Shows pattern with house on it, me, giggles.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Obviously, I like how houses look on patterns. I just don't especially like building them because I feel like I start stitching on them and I get bogged down and I kind of, my stitching slows way down. I lose a little bit of mojo.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's funny that it's become a thing now.
Yes. That's the thing. Laura doesn't like houses. Right. Hey, do you want to jump right into it today?
Yeah, sure.
Just ramble as we go along?
Yeah, sounds good to me. We always ramble as we go along.
How about some stash?
Okay, so we went to CC & Company yesterday. I didn't buy anything. I was just along for the ride. But while I was along for the ride, Laura's like, we got you something. And it's this freebie from Shepherd's Bush. It's just the pattern, but it's a freebie, so I'll kind of get up here close for just a second. And it is, You Are Forever in My Heart. And it looks like a little mama sheep and a baby sheep. And
That's
I'm very
excited.
Yes, I'm very excited. And there's a button that goes with it. And so I got this cute little button. So I'm very excited to stitch this.
It's a very sweet little one.
Yeah, and it's only 42 by 34, so it's going to be a fast one. So
not doing that one over one, are you?
Probably not, since I found out that is way too small. And this button would cover the entire piece.
What does it call for it on?
It calls for 20 count.
Oh, okay. So it does want it to be a little bigger.
20
count over 2.
And it calls for Impressions wool, which I've never used. So.
Okay, so 20 count over 2 would be the same as using 10 count Tula.
That's true.
So if you had a pretty piece of 10 count Tula, that would, Katie's over there pointing at herself like, she has 10 count Tula.
Ooh, well, maybe I'll need to shop Katie's stash.
Yes, because Katie is done with the 10 count Tula, she says. And I'm like, no, you have to keep it around tired eyes projects. But, I think she's indicating she would give up a piece to you.
Yeah. And I've never stitched on 10 count Tula, so that would be fun.
You have to have a really big needle because otherwise you will lose your needle because the holes the holes feel this big on it.
Right.
I'm going to tell you that. And it is the weirdest thing when you first start stitching. We normally use pearl cotton on it just because that fills more of the space and it looks really nice.
Right. And I've done some stitching on 10 count plastic canvas.
Oh, yes.
So I do have some huge needles. So
they're so fun because You do petites like me, right?
Yes.
We normally use those itty bitty inch long petite needles, and then we go to those big 20 or 22 needles, and
Right.
it's like, whoa.
Feels like you're using a log.
Yes. Yes. Now I had the opposite thing happen yesterday. I was working on the model and I had been stitching in the car and I was doing fine with my pattern and all. And I noticed it kind of got one stitch off and I couldn't figure it out. And I was working on a border piece.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just a repeated pattern over and over and over, but you skip, you do, it's a pattern anyway. And I checked everything up above it to see if I had all of it in right. Yes, I did. Then I looked. Well, I was like clear over here at the end. I was literally about 4 repeats away from the end.
Mm-hmm.
And it was clear back here on the 3rd repeat out of 30.
No.
So it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to pull it out with my little petite needle. And I'm like, why is this so difficult? Oh, because I'm using the inch long needle. So I did out a bigger needle and then I was able to just whip that right out.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got most of it put back in because I didn't want to leave it.
Right.
This
Well, and then it's kind of a challenge whenever you have to frog something. You're like, I'm getting it back in there.
And this model has got to get done.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
I'm feeling a little bit of the pressure.
Yes.
Was that it for your stash?
That was it. That's all I got this week. Well, and you gave me a bottle of hot sauce, which I have enjoyed with my husband already. So.
And did Timothy think it was too hot?
I don't think so, but I don't know. We were dipping like chicken tenders in it, so.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jeff touched one little pinky. He got, a little drop on the pinky and tasted it, and he's like, yeah, that's pretty good, but I don't think I can eat that. That's too hot for me. Okay, so yes, Katie Landis is still refilling her stash, so we have lots of stash stuff. And I'm not showing you hers anymore because if Keisha needs a stand-in while she is on maternity leave, Katie is going to do that. And so Katie will do a stash parade for you.
Right, and you guys are in for a great time with that because I've seen a lot of the pieces and it's going to be fun to look at.
So I'm in no particular order, just going to go through what I got this week. Right. Katie has been interested in Blackbird Designs. The my brain is not working here. The Magical Mystery Tour series from Blackbird Designs, and these are older. So this one is Eleanor Rigby. And we saw the shop model of this. Katie was not really interested in this one. And then she saw the shop model and it's actually in different colors in there, which I don't think you pick up at all.
No, not really.
But it was beautiful in the shop. So we got this one. And then I told Keisha she could always change. So they've done this one to be Sweet Baby. And I told Keisha she could always do it and change all the flowers to blue to be the announcement. So
yes.
Then I gotta figure out where I'm gonna set things. That should work. Then I saw this and it was really cute. I don't ever remember seeing this. It's called Harvest on Dahlia Ridge.
Oh wow, that's cute.
It's from Heart and Hand Needle Art, and it came out around the same time as this, which I'm doing, Ye Olde Crow. Here are my buttons for the piece. They're so cute, a couple little pumpkins. So, and then this. Oh, this one is from Artful Offerings, and it's called the Honey Bunny Sampler. And it says, can you find the lucky 4-leaf clover? I just think it's adorable.
That is.
The little eyelashes on the bunny are so cute. Also from Hands On Designs, I got Reindeer Games. I have one of the other two in this series, but I could never get this one. It was sold out every time I went in. And reindeer, that's another thing I collect. So
Right.
that was the one I really, really wanted. Okay, this one says it can be reproduced, so I'm going to show you. This is a freebie from Lizzie Kate called Pumpkin.
Oh, that's cute.
I loved it. The crazy pumpkin, just so fun. And then another one from her is Be My Valentine. We went to Wichita to Heart's Desire, and they always have some freebies just laying around, and they show you, they have a little shop model made up of them. So you get to see how cute it is, and then you just can't resist.
Right.
Shop too.
It's the shop where Linda Ebright had most of her models because she is local to Wichita. So, okay. And Keisha said, you were kind of on a bunny kick. Yeah, I didn't realize it, but I saw this one and thought, I have to have it. Kathy Barrick has Mother Nature.
Oh, wow.
She also has Oh Dear, which I did not get, but which I also really, really like. But I love Mother Nature's green dress, and I just think it's cool. Anyway, and also out there, I got Halloween Cat from Satsuma Street.
I love that one.
And I just found the group on Facebook, so I have joined the Satsuma Street Facebook group. And I need to pull out my other one and get it stitched before I start another one.
I love that Halloween cat pattern, and cats aren't even my thing, but I love that one.
It's cute, right? And I have looked at it over and over and over and over. Okay, so Katie bought me Rodney from Kathy Barrick.
Oh.
See, here's a little bit of a theme. Kathy Barrick. And this chart, I was going to see if it said really quickly here when it came out. Oh, 2014. And also this one, I don't know that it says it on the back, but this one is the companion piece, Rebecca.
Oh, wow.
So I have Rodney and Rebecca.
Awesome.
So I'll have to stitch them. Rodney is done in silks. They're both done in silks, but they use the same colors, except that Rodney has one extra color because he has the carrots. But it's 4 or 5 colors of NPS silk, so the needlepoint silk, and then 2 colors of silken color. So I may have to get the silk for those.
Right, and once you kit up one, you'll have the other pretty well kitted up. So
yeah,
that's nice.
It'll be fun. Then I have a little baggie here. So there are online auctions, and one group is Dying for Cross Stitch, and her name is Catherine Davidson, and she dyes beautiful threads and fabrics, and she does auctions for them on Sunday mornings. Now, auction in the style of, you need to be the first one to say me please.
Right.
And it's difficult to get things, and I have wanted to just kind of try things. Look at this. I got a huge piece of Bracken cotton floss.
Wow.
That's like a 50-yard skein, I want to say. It's big. That's what I know. And I also got 2 10-yard skeins of this one that is not named.
Wow, that's pretty.
I really like it. Kind of fallish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wonder if I could do my bunnies with that.
I think the bunnies would be great in that.
Wow. It's wonderful when you pull your stash out all together, right? And then just because I wanted to try her silks, I got a skein of this. No clue what it's for.
Very pretty, though. I'm sure you'll find something.
I mean, it was pretty, and I thought, I just want to see how it works,
Right.
Especially since Katie and I are doing Retreat in a Box and we're trying to find more vendors. I just wanted to, I'm trying different products.
And
I'm
she's local to us, right?
She is. She's in Liberty, which is pretty close.
Yeah.
You and I are both model stitchers for Katie, so I do like to test out supplies that we'll be using.
Right.
Okay, I don't think she names any of these. This piece is 13 by 26. I don't know if you're going to get the color. Let me come real close. Are you getting any of that?
I'm getting like, it looks more like a mottled purple gray. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's really, let me fold it up some. That'll help. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's really purple. Can you see against my shirt how purple?
Yeah.
Really pretty. Really pretty. And, I was just trying to get something.
Right.
So one week I got that. And in a separate week, sorry, got to get all those crinkles out of the way. Mm-hmm. I also got this piece. That one was 36 count linen. This one is also 36 count linen, which I know you and I really like.
Right.
So, Kathy's linen, unfortunately, I don't think we would probably include in as a model fabric for one of Katie's pieces because she doesn't really re-dye things.
Right.
This is an ice dyed piece of linen.
Wow.
This is Keisha's favorite color. And I can fold it back in half a little and show you a good corner of it.
That is so fun.
And with all the purples on it too, and blue and cream, and yeah, it was just luscious.
Right.
So what's funny is that, I pay for these things because she sends me an invoice and I don't go back and look at what I got. Mm-hmm. Because I know I said me please on what I wanted to get. And this way it's kind of a surprise what I actually ended up with.
Right.
So then yesterday we were at CC's, like Keisha said, and Katie and I got this piece of 32 count sand dune vintage from Lakeside Linens. And it is it's very even, but it is a beautiful color.
Yeah, that's a really nice neutral.
Yeah. So, and Katie is, I don't know, Katie will stitch probably on anything, but 32 is kind of her jam right now.
32 is good.
Last. And then, oh, come on. It doesn't want to come out of the bag. And then I got this from the Little Stitcher. I have been looking at this forever. It's the Society of Black Hats.
How fun. So
it finally came home with me, and it says a fly-by-night group since 1692. I thought that was pretty cute.
Yeah.
And I got some floss, and I think I put the one in with the model where it needed to be. And the rest of this is just floss for some project. But beautiful colors. Oh, I know, Baltimore Salt Box.
Oh, right.
By Brenda Gervais. And I have the other colors that I need already, but I got those yesterday. So, and then Katie found this for me, and I was really excited because I've wanted this chart, More Chocolate Bunnies by Hands On Designs, and I know everybody else has already stitched this. And it comes with the little bitty buttons for their tails.
Oh, fun.
But also, our LNS had the Sulky pack. And I have not stitched with sulkies yet.
Those colors are so bright and happy.
Aren't they? I just love it. So that will be really fun, and I'm pretty excited to work with this. That was my exciting part of yesterday.
You'll have to let me know how it goes. I've never used those either.
Yeah. Okay, so then I have one more part to my haul.
Okay.
We went to Wichita, and Judy met us,
Mm-hmm.
and I had ordered bags.
Oh, so you got new Judy bags.
I do. So this is my first one.
Wow.
And the inside is, that's a really cool.
Yeah.
And it goes perfectly with this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got this one. I already have the multicolor one.
Right.
I did not buy the same thing. And Athena told me her button is better than mine. Hey, Athena, I have that button that you have on the one that's multicolored. And this is the inside of mine. Love that.
Yes.
Petite, and that's gorgeous. And there is sparkle in this. Really pretty. And then I got the same one in blue because I really like these swirls and they're fun. And I got this for the inside.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Goes really well with it. And then my last one, yes, I got 4.
Well, you're buying all these new patterns. You need bags for them.
Got this, which Judy said she loved enough that she kept one for herself. And look at the inside.
Ooh, I like that inside.
It goes beautifully with the bag. And this has the prettiest little button. Where's my button? There we go.
Yeah, that is.
So
Judy's really good at coordinating the fabrics and getting the nice buttons. She's really good at that.
And like Judy knows me, so like she picks things that she thinks I will like when she's putting my bags together.
Right.
And she does that with other people as well. If she knows you, she chooses things that she thinks you're specifically going to like. So
right.
Otherwise, you get beautiful things from her no matter what. And I should say she has an Etsy group, or a Facebook group called Judy's Project Bags and More. And you just have to look her up and ask to be added, and she will get you in there, and then you will join the obsession. She has bags, she has trays that are, they have the snap corners, so you can lay them flat when you're traveling. Roll them up is what I do usually with all my stuff inside them. And she also has, what does she call those?
Thread beds.
Thank you. Thread beds. And they also will fold and snap so that you can keep them, or Velcro.
I think it's Velcro. I think those ones are Velcro.
So, and Katie, do you have your sleeves from this week? Nope, she doesn't have them closed. I was going to show you the crazy hot dogs that we had out this week.
Yeah.
This was a funky week in Love You More. So we did craziness. Okay, I need a drink now because that was a lot of stash.
That was a lot of stash. So I'll jump into what I did this week.
Yeah.
So this week I worked on 2 things I cannot show you. One for Black Needle Society and one for Bendy Stitchy Designs. But I will show you, I worked on Hawk Run Hollow. I took a break from model stitching and worked on Hawk Run Hollow. I'm doing Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. And I worked on this block here.
So cute.
I love it, but I'm not going to get it done this month. But that's
it is almost full coverage.
Yeah. I'm not going to get it done this month has just been the slogan of Hawk Run Hollow Thursdays. But anyway, I put in more stitches on this little house here. So it's coming right along.
It looks good. You made good progress this week because you did just have the column.
Yes. So I put in quite a bit more. But we've also done, because usually we stitch on our Hawk Run Hollows when we go to Panera. But with COVID, Panera's lobby has been closed, or I'm not sure if they're still closed, but it wouldn't be safe for us to all get together there still.
Mm-hmm.
So we have just like a Facebook Messenger chat that we have going on Thursdays with some of the ladies who stitch with us usually on Thursdays, and then some other people, because you can be anywhere and talk with us. So I get bogged down in the chat.
This week we were really chatty.
We were very chatty this week.
And we've been doing it with our group Whatcha Stitchin'
Mm-hmm.
from Facebook. And if you are part of that group and you are not have not been added to Messenger, just send me a message or send Keisha a message, and we will get you added to the Messenger chat, and you can play along too. If you're not in the group, you can always ask to join, and then you can ask us to add you to the Messenger chat.
Yeah, definitely. The more the merrier.
It has a couple of little questions. I think it's who's your favorite designer and
how did you hear about the group? Just to make sure that we don't get people who aren't stitchers in the group.
Yes. So, but fun. Okay, is that the only one you're showing?
That's the only one I'm showing.
Okay. I'm going to show you. This is my bag from Judy that I have my Hawk Run Hollow in. And see, she gave me a real simple little wooden button on this one.
Yes, that's a cute one.
It fits this.
Right.
And inside of this is that same fun check.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Just in a different color.
Mm-hmm.
So I am doing a year at Hawk Run Hollow, and I did not work on it last week. And okay, I'll do it back here on the big one. This is the block I am on. And I want to tell you that I started this week, and I did these 2 green vines on either side, and I started putting in the white on the dress and realized I had missed a stitch. This seems to be the theme of the week for me. Clear down here.
Oh, no.
So I had to rip all the green out. So I very determinedly put it all back in. I was up until after 3 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
I was determined, but I was not determined to finish the white on the dress because I was tired by then.
Right.
So I still feel pretty good about it, though. This is what I got done.
Nice.
Are you seeing? Here, let me go this way. There we
There we go.
So that's quite a bit of the white. I don't have a lot left to do. And the green will match up and it will be fine.
Yeah. Perfect.
And mine is not such a heavy block this month.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry.
It's okay. I should have known whenever I picked this. I picked it and I was like, this won't be too bad. And there's a lot of stitching in almost all the blocks.
Yes. You are just like so stitch intensive.
But that's okay. It's going to look great when it's done. It just probably won't get done this year like I was hoping.
We may just have to pick another day for Hawk Run Hollow next year.
Right.
Because if you don't know, we are planning to do Long Dog Thursday next year.
Yes.
And Keisha is planning to do Death by Cross Stitch.
Yes.
And I have purchased Life After Death.
Mm-hmm.
And I even have some beautiful fabric in my brain. I know what color I want.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's from Color and Cotton. I'm kind of waiting for COVID to be over and for her to open her shop, which she says is really tiny, Cardinal Needleworks.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's Needleworks or Needlework, but it's Cardinal Needlework. And according to our friend Beth, Busy Bee, Silly Me, and on here she's on, that's her Instagram. On here she's Busy Bee Stitches, right?
I think you have it flipped.
Do I? Darn.
But that's okay. Go to our collab video that we did with the Missouri Stitchers. She's one of the Stitchers on there, and her Flosstube channel is linked.
And she is an awesome stitcher. So
yes,
yeah,
very much so.
But Beth says that it is amazing to go in and just look at the wall.
Yeah, I bet.
With all threads and things.
Right, we're going to have to do a St. Louis road trip. Kansas City ladies going to St. Louis to visit the LNS.
We've talked about this, that people say, oh, well, that's 3 or 4 hours away. That can't be my LNS. We don't care here. We'll drive.
Yeah, we'll go. We've
Have
driven
fun.
that far into Kansas.
Yeah.
we'll
Have
we'll drive
car,
to the
we'll
other
travel.
side of Missouri.
Also this week though, I started, this is one of my Love You More studio bags. This one is called Most Sincere Pumpkin Patch. And
Oh,
that black, I don't know that you're going to get it. That black is glimmery. There are spots on it. So like the leaves are not,
mhm.
but all of the pumpkins have some extra little glitter on them.
Huh.
I don't think you can get it.
No, it's not really showing up too well.
And this is one of our Halloween tags.
Ooh,
So
very cool.
we've switched labels and we're putting those on the back so that the front of your bag is just pretty.
Mhm.
So anyway, this week I thought, okay, I need like a 2-minute break. I just do. I need a 2-minute break.
Right.
And let me put the crinkle back in. I had this kit that says Across the River, and we had 2 shops here that were across the river from each other.
Mhm.
And in 2009, they did a collab, and Kathy at CC and Company, who is Rosie and me, did this pattern. Oh, I got to show you this. Look, 30% off framing on this pattern. No
Ooh,
expiration date. Do you think she'll still honor that
nice. Maybe.
a decade later? But the kit came with mushroom Lugana.
Mhm.
You can see it still in the bag. So Keisha's shaking her head at me. I looked at it, I pulled it out, I felt it, I was like, no.
I get it.
So that's the picture. And here's what I did. I had a leftover piece of PTP Arctic in the same count. So, that's going to work. And here's my big start. But look at that Arctic. It's kind of a blue-gray.
Yeah.
A blue. I think it's going to look really cool.
Yeah, I think so.
So that was my little start this week. I have the little grass down on the bottom done. And now I can start on the fun cat, or I can put in some letters. But that was my start.
Perfect.
That's it for my whips.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. We're just in model stitching mode right now.
But we obviously have enough to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you and I could ramble forever. So
we kind of feed off each other.
That's true.
Okay, I have to tell you what I'm looking at. Here's a ramble for you.
Okay.
I have to tell you what I'm looking at right now, looking at you.
Uh-huh.
When you move to keep the window out of it,
Mhm.
now it looks like you're wearing headphones.
Oh,
Because
yeah, I do have a plug right behind me.
it looks like it's just coming out of your ear.
I'm just charging. I haven't been getting enough sleep.
Great way to charge.
Right.
Okay, so plans. Do you want to talk about our plans?
Yeah, let's talk about our
you
plans.
go.
Yes. Well, first off, more model stitching for both of us, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Hawk Run Hollow on Thursdays, because always Hawk Run Hollow Thursdays. But then the exciting thing. So we've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks, and it's finally upon us.
Woo!
The pattern print Sal, which is my stitching baby shower. So we're doing that on the 20th. And what you need to do is, if you would like to participate, is stitch on something with sheep, something blue, or something for someone you love. It can be a new start. By all means, use me as an excuse to start something new. But it can also be an existing whip. That's fine too. So we will be starting that on June the 20th, and it will be hashtag the pattern print Sal on Instagram. So really looking forward to that. And what I will be stitching.
Oh my gosh, this is what took up conversation on Thursday.
Yes. So this is a Cheeky Escape, and it's a mini Hade, and the artist is Lucy Pittaway. So this is what I'm going to be stitching. Now, what we were talking about in the What You Stitching group is our friend Deanna, whenever I first showed this in the group, made fun of it because the sheep have flowers on their butts. And so now it's the joke that they're sheep butt flowers. And then who was it that showed us the pattern that she was doing?
I think it's Deanna has the one from the front. Is it?
Well, I'm trying to remember.
Trish?
Oh, it was Trish, I think. So our friend Trish, I'm just making sure that that's who it was, is doing Fluffed, which is one that came out at Market. I'm trying to see if I can find. Oh, but anyway, it's something that came out at Market, and it's called Fluffed, and it's this picture of a sheep, and there are flowers like off to the sides, and so she's like, it looks like flowers are growing out of this sheep's butt. And then our friend Deanna showed us the sheep that she bought from Etsy, and there's no flower, but we're like, we're just gonna pretend that it's there. So
it was funny. She's like, it's facing forward, so you know there are flowers coming out of there.
Yeah. So
I found a picture of it on Etsy for you, or I found a picture on here of Fluffed. Come on, just pull up. There we go.
Yes. So it looks like there are flowers growing from behind so that's just become the joke of the What You Stitching chat, is that wherever there's a sheep, there's not a flower too far behind it.
So I have used this, I haven't used it specifically for this, but when we've been out shopping, I'm like, oh, there's a sheep pattern. And, I have bought a ton of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to bring a bunch and let you guys choose for me. But I saw this one this morning, and I'm like, this is it. This is what I need to start. And it will not be readily obvious. This one is called Samplers from the Scarlet House. Now, for me, look at that bunny.
Well, yes.
Okay. You see this with the dogs? She said, I chose to add dogs to my model, but here is an alternative if you prefer. And she tells you what you need to do. And I'm just going to show you this part because it won't matter. So there are sheep. And probably there will not be a dog for me. That might turn into a cat, but it might just be the reverse of this one.
Oh, fun.
Because that's kind of what the dogs are. I was trying to see if she changed it. That's kind of what the dogs are when you look at them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the tail is different on each one, but so I think that's it.
Yeah, I love that.
I have been wanting to stitch on a Scarlet House piece, and I have just not gotten one going. I love the Scarlet House. So, of course, have I bought any of the floss for this?
Well, I still need a piece of fabric. So maybe we have to go to CC's next Saturday.
We might. We might just have to meet there. So mine is 218 by 82.
Ooh, so you picked a hefty one.
I did. I will be at this one for a while, but okay, so the alphabet on this one, I think has all of the colors. So
wow.
It's really pretty. I love that border. I'm like, I just love this. And I want something that I would really, really, really love for your stitch along.
That's sweet. So everyone, it's starting next Saturday, June the 20th. So join us.
And obviously I will think about you for a long, long time.
Right. Well, it's a mini Haid, but it's still 325 by 324.
Mm-hmm.
So
how old is that pattern Prince gonna be?
Oof. Well, Timothy joked that he would be 5 by the time he got it, which is probably not untrue. Well, but it's not untrue.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I know that I spun a couple weeks ago and I still haven't gotten to use those, so I'm going to stick with those spins until I am able to work on them and give them some time.
Right.
And that will come when the model is done. The model has, is it just over 11,000? Or just under 11,000 stitches?
Mm-hmm.
I think I have stitched, I would like to guess that I have probably stitched 6,000 or 7,000 stitches at this point.
Right.
So I'm, I feel like I'm on the downhill slide. I only have, I think we counted and I have like 6 smaller motifs plus the border, which is the full width of the piece, and an over one part that I have to do past that. So
yeah,
it's not bad.
Right. We'll get it done.
I will. I will. And Katie is actually still recharting part of it. So she still has to send us updated versions.
But that's okay because we still have plenty to stitch in the meantime.
Yes. And here's, okay, I'm going to tell you something that won't give anything away. Here is why you have model stitchers. I got to one part and I stitched it. Keisha's stitching all in DMC and I am stitching in overdyed floss. And we're on different count fabrics too, but the main difference is the DMC and the overdye. And I stitched mine that she had already stitched, and I'm suddenly looking at R2 and I'm like, Keisha, did you use the right color? And Keisha's like, yeah, it's this. And I went back and I looked and I'm like, oh, and I didn't say anything. And a little while later, Keisha said, well, I'm going to have to rip that out. And it's because, let's see if I can get this real quick. It's because the program that Katie used gave us 3 symbols. There are those 2, and then I think the other one is like this. Gave us these 3 symbols, which are exactly the same, just in a different corner.
Right.
And yes, Keisha had used a different corner. And it was a sad, sad moment.
But it's okay. It was ripped out. I was frustrated with it. And then I put it back in the next day because I was like, you will not defeat me.
Yes. And the great thing is that's why you have model stitchers, so that we experience this stuff and then we can talk with Katie about what needs to change.
Right.
So that in the final, she has the ability to edit the symbols in the program she's using. And she had not even seen that there were 3 of those in there.
Right.
So there will not be in the final version.
Well, and I know the model that I'm stitching for Michelle right now, there's a symbol that looks like a little starburst. But on the actual printed paper pattern, it almost just looks like a filled in dot. And she had seen that whenever she was, whenever she charted it, but she asked me specifically, like, hey, tell me about the readability of those symbols whenever you get to this part of the pattern. And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I spent a couple minutes looking for the filled in circle on the key and there was none. And I had to like get the piece of paper up real close to see, that it was actually a little starburst. So yeah, that's one of the good things about having someone stitch your patterns before you release them is not only are you checking on, does this actually stitch up the way you want it to stitch up, but what is the readability of your pattern that you're putting out?
Right. And not everyone is lucky enough to have the designers sitting just across the room from them. Right. So, yeah. I was able to say, hey, there are these 3 symbols, and I think this is the color I'm using for this. And she said, And all 3 colors are very different. So.
Yeah, and not everyone is lucky enough to have someone else stitching the same model as them to be like, you sure that's right? Because I would have fully given it back to Katie, and Katie would have been like, that's not the color.
But it absolutely looked fine for what it was. I mean, it worked because of the type of motif that it was.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And
Trial and error.
I think you even said that had it been just for yourself, you would have just left it.
Oh yeah, I would have totally just left it because it looked fine.
So, I'm going to real quick talk about, Katie and I, Black Needle Society, released our trick or treat box yesterday, which is a 13-day box. And we are down to, let me look at the moment. We've had a lot of movement on the website, which is blackneedlesociety.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Black Needle, right?
It's the black.
Oh, see, I said it wrong. It's the blackneedlesociety.com. But the boxes, people have been buying not just the trick or treat box, but the other boxes as well. So right now, we have fewer than 20 trick or treat boxes, fewer than 15 fall boxes, and just about 30 12-day nice list boxes.
Ooh.
So things are getting
Right. So depending on when this video goes up, you might be able to snag yourself one of the 13 days. But if you haven't, at least go check out that 12-day Advent box, because there are, well, it's Bendy Stitchy Designs is one of the designers that you get a pattern from. The Blue Flower and is it Tiny Modernist?
yes.
So great designers, and you get an exclusive pattern from all three of them.
I've joked and said this is the curated for Keisha box.
Yes, I'm very excited. I love all of those designers. So,
and that wasn't seriously what we did, but we were trying to think of who would be fun to have in a box. And those names came to us, and those ladies all graciously were excited to be in it and to put patterns in. So yes.
Right.
The trick or treat box has Night Spirit Studio as the designer. So really excited. Night Spirit Studio and the Witch's Bath will have an item in there, and she does amazing things. And then Lady Dot Creates is doing something unique for us.
That's amazing.
And Lois is such a spitfire. We just loved her. We got to talk with her on our long drives, and she is just amazing, amazing, amazing. So
that's great.
And the other one is our local lady, Dying for Cross Stitch, will have something in our box as well.
Wow.
Which is really exciting. So
right. So if you liked some of that haul that you saw earlier.
See, I do my homework well. And I am waiting for another package, which has not made it here yet, from another dyer, and hopefully I'll get to talk about that next week.
Ooh, stay tuned.
But I think that's it. So we do want to thank you guys for coming back every week, for hanging with us.
Yes, thank you so much for just joining in on the silliness. We know there are lots of rambles. And we appreciate you being here.
Yeah. And we love your comments. We take jokes very well. I know that there's been a lot of sensitivity lately, but we take jokes very well. And if we don't, we'll probably just come back and ask you, what did you mean by that? Because obviously tone of voice does not translate in comments.
Right.
So, I was watching a Flosstuber earlier this week who was saying, I'm not going to be shamed because I'm using 40 count linen. We stitch on everything. I've told you guys very plainly that I stitch on linen because for me personally, I don't like how even weave feels. And I just am not an Ada stitcher anymore. It frustrates me to have to poke in the middle of the fabric, not in the holes, but in the center to get the partial stitches and things. So,
and I stitch on perforated paper, perforated plastic, Ada, linen, even weave. Really, give me something and I'll try to stitch on it.
You do. You're like, the eclectic stitcher.
Right. If you just give me a material that has holes in it, I'll give it a go.
Oh, I do stitch on Tula periodically because I really like that. So, but yeah, so everybody should stitch on what they're comfortable with, and you shouldn't be shamed for stitching on anything, and you should stitch. I mean, if you want to stretch yourself, that's great. And if you need help with getting started on things, ask.
Yeah.
A lot of people are afraid of linen because they don't know about where to start on linen. And you may think that you know, but if you struggle with linen, I bet you I could show you something that would make you think, oh, this is so much easier than I thought it should be. So I showed our friend Athena this week, and she said, okay, I get what you're saying, but I still like my 18 count Ada better. That's great. She does beautiful stitching.
Yeah, everybody learns somewhere. Everyone has to start somewhere. And like Laura, you've stitched on just about everything, and you just have the thing that you like, and that's okay too. You don't have to stitch on everything. But if you're a person who's like, I love stitching on everything, that's also fun. Come join this club.
My friends always like when I find something, because I have that stuff in my stash. But my friends love when I come across it and I'm like, oh, this doesn't need to live in my stash, because I give it away.
Right. Yeah, I know. I'm eyeing that 30 count mushroom Lugana that you were talking about earlier.
I'll have to check on that, because I believe I've promised the remains of this kit to someone.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was just like, oh, a piece of Lugana that Laura doesn't want.
And it's a really pretty little piece, and actually it was fabulous, because then when I was picking my fabric, I pulled that piece out and I held it up and I'm like, yep, that piece will work. Yep, that's the same size. So
yeah, cross stitches for everyone, and it doesn't matter what your preference is. Just have fun with it.
Right. Silks, cottons, whatever, pearls, whatever.
If you want to stitch everything and crine it because you like it glittery, that sounds tough, but you should do it, because I bet that's beautiful.
Yes, I bet it is. And etoiles, yes. Okay, so I rambled a little more.
Yeah, see, you get rambles in the outro. That's just us.
But I think it's about time to say goodbye.
Okay.
Bye, Stitchers.
Bye. Have a good week.